in truth, it was a show that I'd been trying to sort of make myself for like 10 years. I've been obsessed with the hospitality industry and have so much reverence for people who work in it, and chefs in particular. When I read the part, I was so excited. I'd never seen my name written in a script before.
For you.
And it said Will Poulter next to the character, and I was like, fucking hell, that's my name. I was so excited. And then it said pastry chef, and I thought, oh, fuck.
And then let's talk about The Bear, because this is obviously a show that we all know you're a huge fan of.
I am a huge fan of it.
Extremely excited to be a part of.
I'm more of a fan than a cast member, if we're honest. I really am. Like, they've let a fanboy.
But you've got such a great character, heavily tattooed pastry chef, who has these, deep, meaningful conversations whilst making delicate pastry. It's such a combination, but you're just loving filming that.
I am. I'm really loving it, Fearne. Like, I'm so lucky to do that. That was a show that, in truth, it was a show that I'd been trying to sort of make myself for like 10 years. I've been obsessed with the hospitality industry and have so much reverence for people who work in it, and chefs in particular. And I've been wanting to sort of create something about chefs for a long time, and I've sort of half-penned very bad scripts and, devised pitches for a show about this world before, and never really got anywhere with it, and rightly so. Like, everything I created was not very good. I'm first to admit that. And then when The Bear came along, I was like, oh, this is what I wish I could have made. This is it. And so I got the chance to meet Chris Storer, the creator, and I just said, I would love to have any small role in this if you would have me, sort of thing, and didn't really think anything would come of it. I had a dynamite conversation with Chris, and I was like, if nothing else comes of it, I've just connected with a lovely human who's so talented and even more importantly, just a nice guy. And he was kind enough to write me that role of Chef Luca, and it really was life-changing and really life-affirming, and it also underscored, I think, an instinct in me, which is that cooking and, interactions with food, and especially the creation of dishes and sharing it with people, is really good for my mental well-being.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it
and other people's, hopefully.
The
I don't
best.
burn anything too badly.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm making a lovely little dal for my parents tonight, and I'm already working out what is going in that little fucking dal. What is going in? I cannot wait. My mum will go, can I help? No, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm making this with love for you. The intricate process of doing so will make me feel so good. How were your pastry skills before The Bear?
My pastry skills were like literally zero.
So how much you had to go to pastry school? What happened?
So I was really lucky. I loved cooking, and I was like a keen home.
Pastry's hard.
Pastry's so fucking
I've tried
hard.
to make croissants. It's near impossible. It's the layering of the butter is insane.
Fucking nightmare.
It's
I've done
a
it
nightmare.
once, and they were sort of vaguely passable.
Right.
But like, if you saw them in a shop window, you'd be like, oh Jesus, what happened there? Like, they were, they were edible is all I mean. Yeah, it's the laminating process.
Oh.
And basically doing it in the room has to be the right temperature, or else.
I didn't know this. This is a tip I need. Okay,
Oh,
so the
yeah.
room's at what temperature are we talking?
Well, I wish I knew.
Okay.
You only have to look at my croissants to know I didn't get the
Okay.
temperature right. But like, yeah, the butter melting out in between the sheets of pastry
awful.
is a fucking nightmare.
Shit show.
Yeah, absolute shit show.
Yeah.
It's objectively one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
When I read the part, I was so excited. I'd never seen my name written in a script before. So what I mean to say is, normally, it says the character name, and in the email that you got, it says, I'll take a look at this character for the purpose of auditioning or meeting, whatever else.
For you.
And it said Will Poulter next to the character, and I was like, fucking hell, that's my name. I was so excited. And then it said pastry chef, and I thought, oh, fuck. I could just about maybe fake it with some training as a chef who focused on savoury, but pastry I knew nothing about. And actually, it was great because it put me outside of my comfort zone. And I got straight into training, and I got really lucky. I got to work with Courtney Storer, who's our unbelievable sort of producer. She's head of all the kind of food stuff on the show. And she herself was a chef, an amazing chef, I should add. And a lot of the stories are actually inspired by her experience as well. So started working with Courtney immediately. And as a result of working on the show, I've got to work at amazing restaurants: Black Axe Mangal in London, St. John, Trullo, from the lovely Connor Gadd, I got to work with Dave Barron at Pajoli in Santa Monica and his new restaurant Celine in Santa Monica, and they've just been like dream experiences. I've been so lucky.
So from all of those amazing restaurants, what is the dish that you are now serving up as like your showpiece when people come over?
Oh my gosh. You know, I have...
Is it quite wanky?
Is
it like a miso glazed aubergine something?
17 different
with
elements.
Tahini and
No, it's it's not. Do you know what's really... I'll tell you what's really like embarrassing is for all the things that I've learned and had to like make for the show or in preparation or dishes I've helped out on, etc., at these restaurants. Like my favorite thing to bake is cookies.
Yeah.
Like so simple.
Yeah.
I've become quite obsessive about them. And my favorite thing, cookies and brownies are something that are so easy, but they're also like so shareable. And,
universally loved.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, people like want to eat that shit.
Yeah, so they do.
If I'm being completely honest, it's as simple as like cookies and brownies that I'm making the most these days. But I'm really excited to get back into my cooking this year. Do even more of it. I love it. And you know, I think one of the things I've realized through the show as well is there's a massive parallel between acting and cooking in the sense that what you're doing is you're emotionally transferring something, and you know, in a character and a performance, I think you are trying to emotionally affect someone and appeal to their senses, and cooking's exactly the same. Yeah. You are putting, you know, emotion into, you know, something you're creating. You're often playing on people's memory and appealing to their sense of nostalgia, and you're also adding senses to the experience like smell and taste. So in a way, like cooking is almost a kind of more complete version of what I think acting is, you know, in respect of appealing to people's senses and trying to give them a kind of transformative experience. And
is what you're saying, you're giving up acting to start a restaurant?
I'm not nearly good enough arguably to do either, but I if I wasn't an actor, I would love to be a chef. I don't know, quite honestly, whether I have the resilience, because one thing that is not lost on me through my dipping in and out of kitchens is just how hard it is.
The hours.
How many hours,
you
know, for much less pay than actors get, you know, relatively speaking, in a lot of cases. And the hours are really, really intense. And often it's without thanks. You know, it's without sort of acknowledgement. It's behind closed doors. And that's another reason where I think, you know, people in the hospitality industry work so hard, you know, in the name of service, you know, without any expectation to get anything back. And I really respect that too.
Yeah. Keep making those brownies, I'd say, just for fun. It's just good,
yeah.
Good for the head.